So I'm a huge fan of Tom King. He's really the only writer at DC right now that I'm collecting pretty much everything he's buying, which isn't a lot. Right now, he's working on the Human Target. He's got another series that's coming up that looks exciting. Um, Not only do I buy the comics when they come out, but most generally I'll buy the compilation, whether it's deluxe edition or just a regular hardcover edition. Um, so, what better way to honor uh, possibly my favorite writer right now than to talk about a series that he did that I absolutely despise, and that's Heroes in Crisis. So you can see here the first issue. DC does this sometimes. I don't know why, but it includes an extra cover on here that you could create your own cover if you want. So if that's what you're into. Um, Heroes in Crisis, a very polarizing series, um, a series that I watched the reviews continually erode, and they were still overly generous. So when this came out after Miracle Man, I'm going to try to keep this to 10 minutes and stop, and then probably do another one or two videos. But this came after Mr. Miracle, and that was a really well regarded series. I loved it. And between that and Heroes in Crisis, I actually had the opportunity to meet Tom King at a signing. And I believe I was last in line at that point, so I got to spend just a couple minutes uh, talking to him and saying how I was excited about Heroes in Crisis. But honestly, I was a little perplexed by the premise of Heroes in Crisis. So Tom King has had some issues with, I guess, some emotional problems. Uh, I believe he served in the military. I'm not sure if he struggled with PTSD, but he had some other issues in his life. So this was something I guess that was important to him to deal with emotion, emotional issues with the in the DC universe. So basically, what we discover in Heroes in Crisis is that pretty much all the heroes are suffering from mental problems, PTSD in their fight with supervillains and crises and stuff like that. Okay, not the funnest of topics. I think about it like a James Bond movie where we discover that James Bond, his liver is failing and he has multiple STDs. Um, More grounded in reality, not the funnest. Now, I think the problem is King went with every hero has mental problems, is struggling to deal with what they've gone through, and it's, I think, way overboard. So basically, the heroes will go to a place called Sanctuary, and there's two different mechanisms they use for treatment. The first is they basically just do confessions, recorded confessions, and I don't understand. I haven't dealt with mental health issues myself, so I don't know, but it seems to me like it would be pointless since, as far as I can tell, there's no back and forth. It's just, I mean, you could have just had them speak into a mirror. I don't understand what the point is. But what Sanctuary will then do is it will take these confessions, because these confessions sometimes they reveal their secret identity, they reveal different things about them. So they are taken and they are, quote, immediately deleted, broken, and scattered. So why did they record them in the first place? If they're going to immediately destroy them, why record them? It makes no sense. The second treatment is it will create simulations, I guess kind of like a VR room or something, like a super simulation, what, like Star Trek Enterprise, or what was it, the Next Generation, where they had the holodeck. And then you can play out whatever simulation you want. So Blue Beetle, or I'm sorry, um, what is it? Booster Gold would do a simulation where he beats up himself. Okay, whatever. Various weird scenarios would play out. I don't understand what this was supposed to do, what the point of it all was. Um, at one point, Hal Jordan, so it shows like single frames or multiple frames of heroes doing their confessions. Hal Jordan at one point confesses that he doesn't know what will is, like willpower. Really? Really? Maybe look it up in the dictionary. That's supposed to be his whole thing, is willpower, but it's the driving force behind his ring. Um, stupid stuff. So basically, what happens is there is several dozen, over a dozen heroes are killed, and they're trying to figure out who killed these heroes at Sanctuary. The problem is that what Tom King does is he creates a situation. This is kind of like the worst type of murder mystery where the person who killed them couldn't possibly be the person who killed them. So I guess it's just not a murder mystery. But so if you're trying to figure out at home who the killer is, don't bother. Now, it seems to point to either Harley Quinn or Booster Gold. And I'm pretty sure you even see Harley Quinn literally killing people. And yet it wasn't Harley Quinn. So again, Tom King sets it out so it can't possibly be the person who it turns out it is. So this is where I'm going to get into spoilers. And I don't recommend this series, but if you want to see it and not get the reveal, here goes. The person who killed them all was Wally West. And I'll explain what happened, because it's really stupid. So basically, Wally West, for whatever reason, he was at Sanctuary, and he started to get delusional and paranoid and started to believe he was the only one at Sanctuary. And I guess he comes across they were these, I believe it was Batman who set up Sanctuary, and he set it up so that it would delete these confessions and, using the brain of Batman, scatter it so it could never be reconstructed. But Wally West is super powered, super speed. He discovers these confessions and is able to somehow reconstruct them because he becomes magical. And I guess when you're a speedster, you can do anything. So what happens is when he watches these interviews of other heroes, and the pain causes him to explode, killing more than a dozen heroes. Now, we learned that apparently anyone who is touched by the Speed Force is constantly trying to hold back this explosion. We've never been told that before. Apparently, a new superpower that has never been shown before and probably will never be seen again. Now, I would think that maybe there would be occasions where Flash or Wally would kind of find that useful to be able to explode. Maybe not to kill people, but, maybe to take down a villain, just explode. I doubt we'll ever see it again either. Who knows? Maybe some writer will pick it up and go, oh yeah, that's another power of the Flash. He could explode. So he doesn't mean to kill anyone, but he does. And so now he feels really terrible and decides that to try and redeem himself, what he'll do is he'll take all of these confessions, these private confessions. Now, I will reveal something about myself. I work for a healthcare provider, and we have it drilled into our heads. HIPAA, which is one of the things is that you absolutely keep personal information about health private. But Wally West decides to take these interviews, send them to Lois Lane, and have them revealed. Fantastic. And Lois Lane is helping him. Great. Fantastic, Lois. And apparently Superman is also aware. Now, one of the secrets revealed is Superman reveals, for whatever reason, that he's Clark Kent. Now, obviously, at this point, when I'm filming this, he has also revealed, but this was prior to him revealing he's Clark Kent. Now, Lois Lane apparently did kind of pick and choose what she released, which again doesn't make her a good person. It makes her even a more terrible person, because who is she to decide what secrets she will allow and not allow? And certainly, if you're someone suffering from mental issues, having your mental issues splashed on the page by Lois Lane is probably the last thing you want. Anyway, I'm going to end it here and then pick it up again later and do a part 2.